Hi everybody, welcome to the Great Outdoor Show. I'm your host, Bob Ide. We want to thank our sponsors, Sickler's Bike and Sports Shop in Clark Summit and in Kingston, and Weaver's Archery in Middleburg. Now, here's what's on this week's show. We'll head out bass fishing with the Bilotos boys on Lake Wallenpaupack. Now's a great time to get a bike from Sickler's Bike and Sports Shop. We'll visit a local state park in Luzerne and Sullivan counties. Do you know the laws for canoeing and kayaking? And it's one of the fastest growing activities in the world. This week we're at Lake Jean and Ricketts Glen State Park, and over the next 10 weeks we're going to showcase area state parks that maybe you and your family want to enjoy over the summertime. But now let's get this show started in this week's Woods and Stream as we head up bass fishing on Lake Wallenpaupack.
Hi, I'm Brian Bilotos. This is my son Brian, and we're up on beautiful Lake Wallenpaupack today. We're going to be fishing for some pre-spawn smallmouth and largemouth bass. It's the middle of May. The water is about 58 degrees. It's getting to the point where they're just getting ready to move up to spawn. So, we'll see how we do.
And we're going to be fishing about 5-6 feet of water. We're fishing some rocky points, and like you said before, we're fishing pre-spawn smallmouth bass.
I've been fishing bass tournaments since I was probably 17 years old with my dad, so quite some time. I'm not going to say how long that is, but because it makes me feel old. But yeah, I fished all over the country, from Florida to the Midwest, Arkansas, Missouri, Thousand Islands, the Great Lakes, Michigan. I've been pretty much all over the middle to eastern part of the country fishing the FLW tournaments and the Bassmasters, Open Series Tour. Smallmouth bass on the Cabbage Patch tube. Every lake's different in different times of the year. A lot of the lakes up north, I don't sit in one spot for too long. Today what we're going to try to do is just catch some active fish. There's not a lot of boat traffic on the water today, so the fish should be fairly active. We're going to try to just keep moving until we find some active fish that are willing to bite. We're not going to sit in one area, float around and be bored out of our mind. We're going to keep hit a spot. If they're not there, we'll keep moving until we find them, and we will eventually find them.
Well, I started fishing at a really young age, probably before I was even 2. I was out on the water and everything, going to like Lake Ontario and stuff like that, trying to get smallmouth fishing. It's been a really fun time. I mean, growing up, you learn so much from him. You could tell he knows a lot about the sport and everything, and his father as well. And it's just really cool just to be around it, and I enjoy it. I really do. I truly love the sport. So right here, you have like the tube head here. You want to put it through the bait. Push it all the way up through before you tie it on even. And then once you have it all the way up, usually straighten out the tails, and then you want to poke the little hole where you put your line through. Right there, and that's where you would tie it on to, just so you could get your line through it to tie it on, and you tie it on and bam, just like that, you have your tube set up for you. I don't know how big it is. Right here, we have like a little smallmouth bass right now. We were throwing it right by the corner of the dock over there, pretty shallow. He was probably in like 3 or 4 feet of water. And we got him on the pumpkin tube again that I was showing before. And ate it pretty good. Good hook set, nice smallmouth.
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh man. It's a decent smallie, about 2.5 pounds. On the Cabbage Patch tube. Yeah, the water's warming up a little bit now. It's up to 58. I think the fish are getting a little more active. He was in like 5, 6 feet of water just onto a rock pile. Probably waiting to come up and spawn. Oh, that's a nice smallie. Look at that one. A nice one. Oh, doubles. It happens more often than you think, especially this time of the year. We're both throwing the tubes. Brian was throwing the pumpkin tube. He loves throwing the pumpkin tube, even though it's only Memorial Day. But yeah, it does happen quite a bit. So we just want to get these guys back in the water.
All right, so this is an old box. This is 3 generations passed down. My grandfather gave this to my dad, who I'm fishing with now, and my dad gave this to me. And someday, I really hope to sell it because it's really, really old and takes up a lot of space.
That one was actually on a bed. He was getting ready to spawn. It's probably the male. Seems kind of small. But he was moving up on a bed, getting ready to spawn. Now we're just gonna rig up a little wacky rig Cinco. It's probably the most common bait in northeastern Pennsylvania. So I got my quick limit baits. A little 4-inch Cinco green pumpkin. It's a wacky rig hook. Anybody can do it. We'll see how it goes.
Oh, it came off, but that's all right.
Wrapping up our day on beautiful Lake Wallenpaupack today.
Today we caught about 25 to 30 smallmouth and largemouth bass.
And in June, when the show was airing, the patterns are going to change quite a bit. The fish were starting to move to the bank today. They were pre-spawn. Some fish were just getting up, starting to spawn. But in June, what's going to happen is the fish are going to back offshore, start chasing bait fish around, moving around the lake a lot in schools. So it's been an awesome day on the water. Beats the heck out of work.
Weaver's Archery will be hosting a bow fishing tournament June 10th and 11th and July 8th and 9th. To fish in the July tournaments, you must have participated in the tournament on May 12th and the one next week. For more information and rules, go to weaversarchery.net. Next on the Great Outdoors, Sickler's Bike and Sports Shop. And how much do you know about what you need for the water?